My brothers and sisters, how many times have you cried in silence, thinking no one sees your pain? How often have you lost sleep over things that were never in your control to begin with? We live in a world where worry has become second nature. We're constantly thinking about what could go wrong. What if I lose my job? What if my health declines? What if people leave me? What if I fail? And in the midst of all this anxiety, we forget one thing: Allah is in control, not your boss, not your bank account, not your enemies, Allah alone. Worry is something that affects every human being. It creeps into our thoughts when we face uncertainty, fear, or loss. It is the mind's attempt to control what lies ahead, even though the future is not in our hands. Many people find themselves overthinking, imagining every possible negative outcome, and drowning in anxiety over things that may never even happen. But the truth is, worrying doesn't change anything. It doesn't bring solutions. It doesn't fix problems. All it does is exhaust the soul, cloud the mind, and steal away the peace of the present moment. A person may worry about their income, relationships, health, or the future of their children. This stress keeps them awake at night and distracted during the day. However, despite all this mental effort, nothing changes simply by worrying. The problem remains as it is. This shows us that worry has no real power. It is an illusion that makes us feel busy while achieving nothing. In fact, it often makes things worse. It clouds judgment, weakens faith, and leads to negative physical and emotional effects. Islam teaches us that while concern and planning are good, excessive worrying that leads to hopelessness is not. When we constantly worry, we are silently telling ourselves that we are alone in our struggles. We forget that there is a Lord who is fully aware of what we are going through. We forget that the one who created the skies and the earth is watching over us and never sleeps. Allah knows our pain. He hears our silent prayers. He sees our tears. He understands our fears more than we do. So why allow ourselves to be consumed by something that only drains us, when there is comfort waiting in trusting Allah? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, went through many trials, loss, betrayal, hunger, and hardship. Yet, he remained calm and hopeful. Why? Because he trusted that Allah was with him. That kind of trust doesn't eliminate the challenge, but it strengthens the heart to face it with calm and clarity. Letting go of excessive worry is not weakness. It is strength. It is saying, I've done my part, now I leave it to Allah. And in that mindset, one finds a kind of peace that no amount of worrying can ever bring. Understanding that Allah is in control of everything is a powerful realization that can transform the way we respond to life's challenges. Every event, every delay, every outcome happens by His permission. When something good reaches us, it is by His mercy. When a trial touches us, it is by His wisdom. Nothing escapes His knowledge, and nothing happens without His command. This truth brings comfort to the believer, because it reminds us that we are not at the mercy of random events, people's opinions, or the chaos of the world. We are under the care of the one who is all-wise, all-powerful, and most merciful. Often, people feel helpless because they think others control their fate. A boss, a spouse, a government, or even their own limitations. But when you understand that Allah is the true controller of all affairs, you realize that no one can harm you unless He wills it. No one can withhold your provision, your peace, or your blessings if Allah has already written them for you. This doesn't mean we don't take action or plan wisely, but it means that after we've done our part, we leave the outcome to the one who knows what is best for us in ways we could never fully comprehend. Sometimes life doesn't go according to our plans. We face setbacks, heartbreaks, and moments of confusion. But even then, there is comfort in knowing that Allah's plan is always better than our own. What we see as a failure may actually be protection. What we see as a delay may be preparation. What we see as an ending may be a new beginning crafted by divine wisdom. Nothing is without purpose when it comes from Allah. When a believer truly accepts that Allah is in control, they find a sense of inner calm. They stop panicking over what might happen and start focusing on what they can do in the moment. Their heart becomes anchored in faith, not shaken by every difficulty. They learn to say, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us and He is the best disposer of affairs. This is not just a phrase. It is a deep conviction that no matter what the world brings, the outcome is in the hands of the one who loves you more than you know. And with that belief, fear fades and hope grows. When a person places their full trust in Allah, their heart begins to experience a unique kind of peace that nothing in this world can provide. This trust, known as tawakkul, is not about giving up or being passive. It means doing what you can with sincerity and effort, and then leaving the results entirely to Allah, knowing that whatever He decides is better for you. even if you don't understand it at the time. Tawakkul is a powerful act of faith that calms the soul in the middle of chaos and uncertainty. People often believe that peace comes only when problems are solved, when there are no more worries, and when life is perfectly in order. But true peace is not found in the absence of problems. It is found when the heart is connected to Allah. Even when storms are raging outside, a person who trusts Allah can feel at ease on the inside. Why? Because they know that Allah is watching over them, guiding them and protecting them. They know that nothing will happen except what Allah has already written, and that His decisions are always based on His infinite wisdom. This kind of peace doesn't come from wealth, status, or people's approval. It comes from a strong relationship with the Creator. When your heart leans on Allah, you don't break when the world lets you down. You don't crumble when you lose something. Because you know the one who gave it to you in the first place can give you something better. You begin to rely less on your own understanding and more on Allah's perfect plan. Your dua becomes stronger, your patience grows deeper, and your hope remains alive, even when everything else around you seems to be falling apart. This is the beauty of tawakkul. It allows you to breathe even in hardship. It teaches you that you are not alone, that you are never forgotten, and that Allah's help is always near. Peace is not a destination you reach after life becomes easy. It's a state of heart that you build by trusting the one who created your soul. When you have tawakkul, you may still cry, but your tears will carry faith. You may still struggle, but your struggle will be filled with hope. And you will walk through life with the firm belief that with Allah, everything will be okay. The life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a profound example of unwavering trust in Allah, despite enduring some of the harshest trials any human being could face. From the moment he received revelation, he was met with resistance, mockery and threats. He lost his beloved wife Khadija and his uncle Abu Talib, who were his strongest supporters. He faced hunger, exile, the pain of being rejected by his own people, and the physical and emotional trauma of battles. Yet throughout all of this, he never lost his calm or gave in to despair. His heart remained firmly connected to Allah, and his trust never wavered. In the cave of Thor, when he and Abu Bakr were being hunted by Quraysh, Abu Bakr became fearful and anxious. But what did the Prophet, peace be upon him, say? He turned to his companion and reassured him with full conviction, saying, "Do not be sad. Indeed, Allah is with us." That simple yet powerful statement came from a place of complete reliance on the Creator. At that moment, the Prophet, peace be upon him, knew that no matter how close danger came, nothing could harm him unless Allah allowed it. That is the level of tawakkul we are meant to strive for. Trusting Allah doesn't mean life will be easy or pain-free. The Prophet, peace be upon him, cried, prayed, and endured hardship just like any human would. But what set him apart was his absolute certainty that Allah had a purpose behind every hardship. He never allowed his pain to overpower his faith. Instead, he used it as a reminder to turn even closer to Allah. In every moment of loss, he found an opportunity to strengthen his connection with his Lord. His life teaches us that trust in Allah is not just words on our tongue. It's a deep-rooted belief that shows in how we respond to trials. It teaches us to be patient when we are tested, to remain hopeful when things seem impossible, and to continue making due even when we don't see immediate results. If the most beloved of Allah, the final prophet, endured so much and still trusted entirely in his Lord, then we too can learn to let go of fear and hold on tightly to faith. His example is not just to be admired, but to be followed in our own journeys. There are many moments in life when things don't go as planned. A job opportunity slips away, a relationship ends, a long-awaited prayer seems unanswered. In such times, people often question why these things happen, especially when they've done everything right. But the believer understands that Allah's wisdom is far greater than our understanding. What we may see as a failure or a setback might actually be a hidden blessing or protection from harm. Allah sees the full picture of our lives, while we only see a small fragment. This understanding is what brings peace during confusing and painful times. Sometimes we desire something with all our heart, and when we don't receive it, we feel disappointed. Yet, Allah may be saving us from something harmful that we are unaware of. We might cry over a missed opportunity, not knowing it would have brought sorrow in the long run. His delay is never denial, it is often preparation. He may be strengthening our hearts, building our character, or aligning things in a way that we are not yet ready to receive. And when He does give, it's always at the best time and in the best way, even if it's different from what we expected. Human beings are limited in their knowledge and foresight. We base our desires on emotions, wants, and assumptions. But Allah's decisions are based on perfect knowledge, mercy, and eternal wisdom. Trusting His plan means accepting that not everything will make sense right away, but everything has a purpose. Even pain has meaning when we know it's from Allah. He does not test except to raise us, guide us, or purify us. Every difficulty carries a lesson, and every delay has a divine reason behind it. When a person develops this level of trust, they stop resisting what Allah has written for them. They stop questioning every difficulty, and instead turn to Him with full submission, knowing that He never wrongs anyone. The heart finds ease not because the situation has changed, but because it rests in the knowledge that Allah is in control and He knows best. This belief turns moments of sorrow into moments of closeness to Allah, and when the heart is close to Allah, even the heaviest trials become bearable. The believer learns to say with certainty, if Allah chose this for me, then it must be good for me, even if I can't see it right now. True strength is not found in controlling everything or having answers to every situation. It is found in the ability to let go and fully submit to the will of Allah. When a person finally stops fighting against what they cannot control and instead raises their hands in sincere dua, saying, Ya Allah, I leave it in your hands, that is not a moment of weakness. It is a moment of true power. It is in that moment that the heart begins to heal, the mind begins to clear, and the soul begins to breathe. Surrendering to Allah is not giving up, it is rising above. It is placing your burdens where they truly belong with the one who created you, and knows you better than you know yourself. Too often, people believe they must carry their worries alone. They think strength means never breaking down, never showing fear, and never needing help. But Islam teaches us that true strength is recognizing our own limits, and knowing when to turn to the unlimited. It's not a sign of failure to feel overwhelmed, it is human. What matters is what we do in those moments. When we surrender our affairs to Allah, we are trusting that His wisdom will guide us, His mercy will surround us, and His power will protect us. This trust creates a deep sense of relief and freedom. It frees us from the pressure of having to control every detail of life. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, often turned to Allah in prayer and tears, especially during the most difficult times. He would cry out to his Lord, not because he was weak, but because his strength came from that connection. This teaches us that the strongest hearts are those that rely on Allah completely. When a person learns to live this way, they walk through life with a different kind of confidence. Not arrogance, but a quiet strength that says, whatever happens, I will be okay, because Allah is with me. A letting go of constant worry and trusting Allah brings peace not just to the heart, but to the entire life. It transforms how we respond to pain, disappointment and fear. It makes us resilient in trials and grateful in ease. The one who surrenders to Allah never truly loses, because Allah never lets down the one who places their trust in Him sincerely.